Well, it didn't take the Giants long to embarrass themselves on national TV as they got it done last night. They lost to the Lions 35-14 in a game that was never really close. It was 14-7 at halftime, but that's mainly because the Lions killed themselves with penalties in the first half, giving the Giants a touchdown. And by my count, it should have been 17-0 at halftime. When you look around at the Giants, there's absolutely nothing that you could see that can give you any sort of confidence moving forward. They got dominated in all three phases of football. They were awful offensively. They got shredded by Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson defensively. And on special teams, well, they got a punt blocked, so it's about as bad as it gets. Tom Coughlin called it a nightmare. I mean, it's hard to disagree with that statement. You look at Eli Manning. He had 2 interceptions. He's now on pace for 32, which would surpass his career worst of 27, which, of course, he set last year. There's just no hope. There's no hope. You look at the running back situation. Last year, you have a bunch of retreads in Brandon Jacobs and Peyton Hillis. And this year, your big free agent signing is a career backup in Rashad Jennings. Jennings last night scored a touchdown. It was utterly useless. He averaged 2.9 yards per carry, which is not very good against the Lions. And, you just look around. What can you see that gives you any kind of hope? The receiving core, Odell Beckham, who knows if he's even seen a football field since they drafted him. Victor Cruz last night, 2 catches, 24 yards. That's absolutely useless. You get rid of Hakeem Nicks. For what? Now Cruz is a slot receiver he's just going to get blanketed. There's no help. Who are you going to go cover if you're a defense? Jarrell Jernigan? Larry Donnell? Listen, when Larry Donnell is your highest receiver, you're in trouble. Donnell scored a touchdown last night. He had 5 catches for 56 yards. And that's just embarrassing. It really is. Victor Cruz, I don't know what he's saying. He can't be saying much. I mean, you look, he's going to be blanketed by Patrick Peterson this Sunday. Arizona looked good last night. It's not looking too good for the Giants. They're at home, but, I mean, the pass rush was non-existent. JPP, of course, he got hurt again. Surprise, surprise. It took him a whole 12 minutes into the game to see the sidelines due to injury. You look, you get rid of Osi Umenyiora 2 years ago. You get rid of Justin Tuck last offseason. The bread and butter of the Giants is gone. Who's going to make up for the lessened pass rush? You have no linebackers. John Beeson's good. I mean, he's a good linebacker. Is John Beeson a star? Is he a Pro Bowler? Is he an All-Pro? No, he's not. He's a solid linebacker. Who's around him? Absolutely nobody. And that's a problem, because when you look at the secondary, Antrell Roll is he's honestly overrated. Let's just be honest now. You hear so much about him as a leader, as this, as that. He's overrated. He's a good safety. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, 4 teams in 7 years. How good is he? Stevie Brown, I mean, come on. Prince Amukamara was a bust until now. I mean, last night he was solid. He made some plays. But the bottom line is you got destroyed. Got destroyed, and there's nothing that you can look at and point to and say, okay, we have this. Now let's do this. It's, in effect, they have nothing. The only thing that they have that's beneficial to them is a soft schedule. And if you break down the games and go through it, they're in a terrible NFC East. And they have a really soft schedule. But I still see them going 7-9, which is embarrassing. Because with the schedule that they have, they should easily go 11-5. 10-6, maybe. Jerry Reese is just going to continue to get free passes. I don't know. What is anybody seeing this guy? All his draft picks are busts. You look back, David Wilson, Jason Pierre-Paul. You go back through the line. Hakeem Nicks was good, injury-prone. Who is he drafted that you say, wow, this guy's good? Aaron Ross. I mean, come on. He makes no free agent signings. There's plenty of guys out there. They could have went out and got Chris Johnson like the Jets did. How'd he do week 1? Oh, I think he did pretty good. They have no tight end. I don't care about Larry Donnell and what he did last night. They have no tight end. They've been recycling tight ends 1 year and out, every single year. And at some point, it's got to stop. At some point, you need a tight end. You look at the mainstays in the league. They have great tight ends. Antonio Gates, for all those years, Tony Gonzalez, Rob Gronkowski, Jimmy Graham, Jason Witten. they're consistent. Every team in the NFL is good at something, except for the Giants. And it's concerning, and we're going to see it catch up to them. Last night was only the start of things. That game could have easily been worse than 35-14. If it wasn't for one garbage touchdown and then one that they shouldn't have even had in the first half. The Lions gave them about 4 penalties to push them along. It's not looking good for Big Blue. It's really not. Is it basketball season yet? Is it hockey season yet? Because if you're not a Jet fan in New York, you're going to have a pretty long fall. See what happens week 2.